guys, it's Miss Fudgedellum here to go over your shadow shifting activity so you understand what you need to do for Virtual Day 2. So if you take a look at this Google Doc, it is on your assignments under Week 2 Virtual. You are going to type right into this Google Doc and turn it in when you are done. There are going to be points awarded for recording your data, completing a hypothesis, showing your observations, and then drawing a conclusion. So please make sure you're typing right in the Google Doc and that you turn it in when you are done. So before you begin the shadow shifting activity, let's read the question that we are trying to answer today. How and why does your shadow change during the day? So before you begin the activity, you need to type your hypothesis. So we already began the hypothesis. I think my shadow changes during the day because, so you are going to tell me what you think. How and why is your shadow going to change? Remember, hypothesis does not have to be correct. You are just coming up using your scientific background with what you think is going to happen. So when you start typing on this line, the line will begin to move and the formatting will kind of get crazy. It is okay. So if you start typing because the sun, and then it will move, the line will move. Do not worry about deleting the extra lines or any of that. I will be able to read it and figure out your hypothesis, so that is okay. I know it gets a little funky there. So go ahead and type your hypothesis, and then let's go down to the procedure. The procedure says you are going to create a shadow outside at 4 different times during the day. So when I'm talking about 4 different times, I'm talking about them being spread out during the day. You don't want to do 10 o'clock, 10:05, 10:10, 10:15, 10:20, because you're not going to see a difference in your shadow. That's not enough time to see a difference. So you want to pick at least like maybe an hour, if not a little bit more, in between your times, so that way you can see a difference in how your shadow changes. So the procedure: 1, stand in a spot and have someone trace your shadow. You need to pick the same spot each time. If you don't have a helper, then pick an object that you can trace that doesn't move, like a mailbox or a flower pot. If you cannot trace it, then you can take a picture of it so you can compare the shadows. So if you do not have sidewalk chalk at home, or you do not have someone at home that can help you with this activity, you can still do it. Put an object, or maybe you don't even have to move it. If it's a mailbox, you're not moving a mailbox. Find an object that is opaque, so it's going to create a shadow. And then I just want you to observe that shadow throughout the day 4 different times. You may take a picture using your Chromebook. I know some of you have iPods, iPads, phones, iPhones. You could use that to take a picture so you can compare your shadow throughout the day. If you have someone to help you, if you look up here, they're kind of doing it with sidewalk chalk. You can stand and then the person can trace your shadow if you have someone to help you. But if not, you can still complete this activity. Just put a flower pot in the middle of your yard and watch how the shadow changes throughout the day. So then, number 2, measure about how tall your shadow is. Record it in the table. So if you look, the table below says size. Tall, short. If you cannot measure it, try to estimate or describe it. So if you do not have a ruler or measuring tape at home, then describe it for me. Is it short and squatty? Is it really tall and skinny? How does it appear? Number 3, look at the direction of your shadow is pointing. Record it in the table. So if you look at the table, which way is it pointing? North, south, east, or west? So you're telling me, is it pointing to the north? Is it pointing to the south? Is it pointing to the east or the west? So you may have to bring up a compass to figure out if you're not sure which way it's pointing, which there are digital compasses on your phone, or I believe on your Chromebook also. So number 4, where is the sun in the sky? Record it. in the table below. So now you're going to tell me where the placement of the sun is. Is the sun north, south, east, or west? Remember, don't look directly at it. Look up in the sky and figure out where it's at. So number 5 says, repeat this process 3 more times throughout the day. Make sure you have time recorded in the morning and time in the afternoon. So we say that because we want those gaps of time to be pretty large so you can see a change in your shadow. So you're going to do that 4 times and fill in the chart, making sure that you type it right in here because remember you will be assessed on filling in your chart. And then we have 3 observation questions for you to answer after you have observed the 4 different times. How did your shadow change throughout the day? What did you notice about the size compared to the time of the day? And what did you notice about the direction of your shadow compared to the sun? So again, you're just going to put your cursor there and type in complete sentences the answers to those 3 observations. So depending on what you observed in your chart will be how you answer those. And then the last step is we want you to draw a conclusion. So after looking at all your data and making your observations, can you answer this question? Why does our shadow change during the day? What happened? What is happening that allows our shadow to change during the day? Once you have answered the questions and filled in the chart with your data, you can go back to the assignment, and remember, when you are all done, you are going to click turn in so that way I can read and provide feedback on your activity. When we come back to class, we will share some of our data and our conclusions so we can wrap up what happened and why it happened. So make sure that you are making good observations so that way we can share it with our classmates. Of course, if you have any questions, email me, guys. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, go outside. Hopefully it's nice outside while we're doing this and have some fun.